To the town council, the only thing they talked about is you didn't have enough cops there. I said, do you realize that we've got 2 young men that their lives are ruined? One's dead, one's going to prison, and all you can talk about is we don't have enough cops here. I looked at them and said, and the sad part about it, they look like me. I said, but I guarantee you if they were more representative of the majority in this room, y'all would have a different attitude. So I gave them a letter of resignation. In the midst of all of that, I ended up in Sanford, North Carolina. First thing the sheriff asked me when I got here, Shawn, you want to go to work? I said, no, sir, I can't work behind the badge no more. I said, because I'm not helping people. I'm not helping the young folks that I deal with day in and day out. I put silver bracelets on them. I send them to the system. System corrupts them. They come back and I got to continue to deal with them. So I had to change the process. Let's start on the forefront. So I wrote a 21st Century grant back in 2008 and received our first grant in 2008 where we were able then to make an impact on children. Wrote again here this last cycle, received another grant. See, some folks I've worked with through the years, Ed Bell and others, but the key that we have to understand, and I heard the question asked is, how do we begin to break the cycle? Well, we got to hire the right people. We're not paying the most money. But there are folks out here that have a passion to change lives. You look at my staff, they're all young. I tried it the other way around with my first staff. Hello? When kids can't identify with people that they're working with, you get a disconnect. Yes. You get a disconnect. So you got everybody on your staff 40 and 50 years old, but you're working with teenagers, and we're not identifying, we're not relating to them. Right. We're trying to make them think of what we think they ought to be doing. So I changed my philosophy. Let me get some young folks in here, let them be able to communicate, let them talk. They went through 3 weeks of training. You got to train your staff. Don't just hire them and say, you now work for the 21st Century, whatever your program is, start working with children and start working with kids. You need to set the value. And I don't know how many of you wrote the grants in here, but if your grant person that had the vision isn't part of the team, there's a disconnect. You're already behind 8 ball. Because what you wrote on paper, you got to make happen. And so I'm not here. I hired good people that know how to fulfill. This young lady, Miss Ashley, she was the first hire in 2008. She's now my site director now. If anybody's got my heart, she's got it. She knows what I want. She's been through it. And so you got to have people that have your heart, have your passion, and love kids. Yeah. Because they will come in with issues. One of my staff members said last night, kid walked in the classroom mad, just frustrated. I said, okay, so what's the issue? That kid may not have slept last night. That kid mama may have been doing something that you wouldn't even be doing. So that kid walked in and you're the only outlet he has. I said, so you think he had a good night's sleep, you ought to walk in here happy. Realize that some of our kids that we deal with, their homes are nothing like our homes. You talk about kids, no running water, no lights. What do you do with that child? Because the other kids have alienated them. Then your staff member alienates them. But guess what? Somebody outside your doors will take them right on in. Come on now. And next time they walk in, they're coming for a vengeance against somebody in your program. Because trust me, they do come back. It may not be your house, it may not be my house, but they're coming back. And so all of our goals as 21st Century directors should be to change the lives of our kids. And so how do we do it here? Deborah said I get a chance just to brag on what we do. We do it very simply. We give many, many, many alternatives. We took a wraparound approach. I figured I can't just work with the kid, but I work with mama, daddy, cousin, grandmama, granddaddy that's raising this child. So we got counseling. Counselors are here twice a week. They deal with it. Not only the kid, but if we got a parent, we got a family, they deal with it. But you can't spend 21st Century money on that. Okay, no problem. But they don't know her. No, I'm sorry. I'm not just already approved, but the fact of the matter is, we can't change that child that we deal with for 2, maybe 3 hours a day, and then they go back to their reality.
Contracted services.
That's exactly right. So we've got to put mechanisms in place that when they leave here, that family gets the help that they need. And so we done took that. That was the first piece I hired, counseling. Counselor that just didn't say, I'm a counselor, but counselor had passions for children and understood. So we interviewed the counselor to see if they were the right fit for our program. But in Sanford, we got a lot of counselors in Sanford. So we went through that process to make sure we had the right ones. That's why we got our counselor piece to take care of the whole family, because that's the piece. I missed that as a school resource officer. I missed that as a police officer. I was locking kids up. They go through their time and they come right back home. I'm like, why does this kid keep turning out the way he's turning out? Would you think he'd get tired of going to prison? No. But daddy been there, mama been there, cousin been there. That's where his family's at. That's where he wanted to go. So we had to do something. So we started working with the family. So they come in. Our first parent night, we had every kid that we have in our program, we had 90% turnout for parents. How do you do that? 90%. Because we tied rewards when your parent comes to you getting something. And if you tell that child, if you want to go on a field trip, if you want this piece of candy, if you want that, kids can make mama and daddy do what mama and daddy don't want to do. Mom, you got to come because, see, I want that piece of candy. I want this award. And so we begin to tie it. We missed that the last time. So we began to tie your parents be here with a reward. And all of a sudden, our parent night started to grow. Because now they're here, they get their snack. They get their snack.
That's right, snack.
They get their snack. Gotta give them something. Because most of them have to come off of work and come here. They get their snack, and then we put programs in front of them. Hunter spoke to them last night. First program we had an educator here teaching them about the system. What can you do? What can't you do? Other nights we've had superintendents, because it's important that your parents get empowered.
That's right.
And so we empower the parents. So they come. We had a parent night last night. Great turnout. Great turnout. We had about 98% of our parents here last night. And so I'm not happy with 90. I want 100% representation. I want that. So our goal is high. So we got that. So our parent night, we have cooking classes for our kids. So our kids go to cooking classes once a week. They have arts and crafts. They have dance in the shape. All our kids, they come in here and they dance, the newest line dances and all that. They do that. They have STEMs that are taught by Caterpillar, who's our engineers down at the Caterpillar. They come in and volunteer their time, so it doesn't always cost some money. They volunteer their time twice a month to come in and teach our STEMs program here. Shoot, I could keep going. But we put things in place that the kids are interested in. I take a pulse of the kids. I'm not here every day, but when I come in, I take a few minutes with the kids. I say, how y'all like this program? How you like that program? How you like that program? How you like that? And all they got to do is tell me they don't like it. If they don't like it, we call an audible. We switch. Don't be afraid to change in midstream. Because if it's not benefiting the kids, it's not worth the time to do. So don't be afraid. Oh, the grant, we wrote it out. Oh, I got to send an amendment to Deborah. That's fine. I don't have no problem with that. Because I can justify why I'm changing it, because we're not getting the success or the outcome that I want. So if I may have to say, well, Deborah, Caterpillar ain't working, STEMs ain't what I need it to be, I need to bring in somebody else, and now I need to shift some money, she's going to say, make it work. That's what she's going to say. And so we got to be very creative, because our kids are creative. We can't teach them with a blackboard no more.
That's right.
Don't go up there with a whiteboard and blackboard. They don't want to hear. They don't even want to do handouts, sheets. That ain't what they want. They want some interaction, some things that they can. So we've done that. We've got 80 kids. We've been open 6 weeks. We got 80 kids so far. We said we're going to do 130. We're going to surpass that. We're trying to slow them down because we weren't expecting the rapid growth that we had. And let me tell you something. This staff over here, we're a reimbursable grant. Well, my church isn't that rich. So my staff went for weeks without pay and not one quit. We started, we were ambitious, and we said we're going to bring these kids in. And so they went on
That's God.
4 weeks.
What?
4 weeks, no pay, on time every day. Here, so don't say it's for the money.
That's right.
You got folks that will work. You got folks that will work. And I told them when they got their first check, don't go spend it all in one place. They couldn't wait for the second check. They went out and got broke the first day. But what I'm saying on that is the commitment level of your people makes the difference.
That's right.
That's the truth.
If they won't work for free, then they won't work.
That's right.
Hello? Somebody's passion, if it's their passion, they do it because it's their passion. The money just follows along.
That's right.
Each one of them went through an extensive interview. We hired the right folks. I'm not saying everybody's going to do that, but we were blessed to get the right people in place. I can assure you, my staff 3 years ago, if their money didn't come, they've been walking.
Been there, done that.
So get folks that are committed to your program. Sell them the vision. Write the vision, you wrote it. You got the money. Make it plain. Now bring it to fruition. And surround your folks with folks that's got your heart. And watch your children grow, watch your staff grow, and you'll be amazed at the lives you'll change. These kids, we have kids crying about, Bo reminded me, I forgot. Bo said, Shawn, you ain't got a gym here. Oh, duh. I forgot I didn't have a gym. Okay. Well, my kids are crying because they don't want to leave.
That's good. That's right.
I walked out and I had some 7th graders crying. Their mom said, we got to go. I don't want to go. You're going out here. I said some other words inside of it. 7th and 8th graders talking about they don't want to go. This is a safe haven. But Bo said, this is a safe haven. They could come in here and don't have to deal with the folks back on the corner that's pressuring them to join the gang. They could come in here and just be who they are. Young people trying to grow. And so I say to you, it's been a pleasure. This is my passion. I love kids. I've locked up so many in my lifetime. Now to see them, trying to keep them out and being that advocate for them in the courtroom. See, that's the thing about me. If they go to court, I'll be with them. Because I don't believe in you get enough points, then you go into the system. No. I'm going with them, and I'm going to tell that parent that, you're not in this by yourself. You got a parent-teacher conference, we're going to be there with you. Because a lot of our parents don't know how to talk.
That's right.
They're going to go in there and yell and cuss and fuss.
That's right.
You lose every time, so we go with them. I have a full-time person, program director, full-time. There's not enough work in 8 hours for them to stay busy for 8 hours. So they have to be the advocate that will go with that child, that will be there. And so my program director knows. She got to go to the teacher meeting. She goes. She's been in the school principals' offices the last 2 weeks, just talking, just networking, to let these teachers, these kids aren't by themselves. We're interested in them. And so make your program, be the advocate for them in your community, because they don't have anybody else a lot of times. Mama and daddy ain't really there. They sleep in the same house, but they're not there. Light bulb is off. When they walk in your program, you are mama, you are daddy, you are sister, you are brother. And so take that role, take it fully, and do all you can to make sure that kid that comes in 4 years later, 5 years later, you made a great impact on that child's life, that they want to come back and say, guess what, I want to work for you. I want to be on your tutor staff. I want to do this. I got kids that came through my first program. They want to come back and work. I said, you volunteer first. Let me see your work ethic. Let me see what you're going to do. And then we talk about pay. Volunteer first, and then we talk about whether you can get on, because you got to have the right attitude. And so I just want to thank you guys for being at God's Promise, being at the Born with a Purpose 21st Century Community Learning Center program, and we hope that we made it comfortable for you. We hope that you got everything you need, and if you didn't, I'm sorry, we'll do better the next time. And I want to thank Deborah that when she wrote and said, hey, Shawn, can you host? It was like, sure, no problem, because I know we're all in this together. I just didn't know you were going to have folks. You told me 50 people. It was good to see so many people. It was good to see so many people and have a passion. And let's just go back out there and make a difference in the folks' lives. Let's change these kids. You working with from kindergarten to 12th grade, everyone is important. I took 3rd through 8th. That's the grade level we service here. 3rd through 8th, we send them over to Bo or whatever. If they have high school, they go over to the Boys and Girls Club. We specialize in what we do. I do what I do well. I don't do high school as well. So I didn't include high school. But I do 3rd through 8th grade. If I only got one play, if my team only has one play, pick and roll, we're going to be the best pick and roll team out there. You're going to have to stop my pick and roll in order to beat us. I work well with 3rd through 8th grade. And that's all we want. Because that's the population, I believe, that's the molding age. That's changing, that we have an influence on. By the time they hit high school, most of them already made up their mind what they're going to do. So we just specialize in that. And we send all the other knuckleheads to Bo and say, you handle them. And what's funny about it is we got parents that